Okay, make no more excuses. Do not make excuses for not following through. Easier said than done. Let's talk about it today. Welcome to Receptive Radio, your tuning station. This is for coaches, healers, speakers, authors, writers, soulpreneurs. This show is for you to help us do our purpose work, realize how powerful we are when we are doing it, and create prosperity, make money from doing what we love, because it's so much better to wake up and work for yourself and make unlimited amounts of money for yourself instead of the man. So, no excuses has been the main topic for the last 2 weeks for me. And I tuned into it, and then I went to events, and people were saying the same thing. So I am repeating it again for you. We get into this bad habit where we let ourselves off the hook. How many of you make an excuse so that you don't finish something, you don't follow through on creating a connection or reaching out, or for results that you received even? How many of you have made excuses today? Put a yes in the comments. It is like a knee-jerk reaction, making an excuse for ourselves or for a circumstance or for a result that we did not want. It's an addiction. It is totally connected to blaming, procrastination, and getting distracted. So no more excuses is the mantra for the month as well. And you have to really watch yourself. This is why it's so important about being conscious about how many times you're making an excuse for something that did not work out, didn't get done, or didn't follow through on, or you didn't get the results you wanted. So what is the excuse for you not having a speaking engagement next month? What is the excuse for you not having any connection calls? What is the excuse for you not doing your purpose and not healing, not speaking, not finishing your book? I have a ton of excuses. And when we start putting attention to it, that we're making excuses, that's a way to stop making excuses. So I have been paying attention to it since last Monday. I had a VIP experience with a client. That was the theme. Make no excuses. I had somebody decide they didn't want to do like a very inexpensive program, an excuse. And you know what? I didn't follow up and challenge them on that either. So it's just a way for me to recognize where if I don't move forward on something, somehow I'm giving myself an excuse for not following through. So quick implementation is the easiest way to transform making excuses. If you see something, there's an opportunity right in front of you to expand, to do something you want to do. Go for it. Reach out. Make a connection. Do something about it immediately within the next 24 hours, preferably within the next 20 minutes. If you follow through immediately and get yourself along the road to the next step of that opportunity, however that opportunity is showing up to you, you will follow through and there'll be no excuse because you'll just do it and it'll get done right away. And I'm going to give you an example of my spouse, Ian. He is self-employed. He's been in the business that he does for 40 years. And he has basically no competition. He does roof restoration, cedar roof restoration. And he really inspires me because he's an amazing salesperson and very good at follow through. He gets the lead, he acts on that lead immediately and books the time to offer, and then he closes. Most times, every time he goes to a lead, because he's been doing it for 40 years. He knows his product. He knows his pricing. He knows it's on. He is not stumbling anywhere along the sales process. He can close that lead. So the reason he's closing is because he's following through. He doesn't wait for tomorrow what he can do today. He doesn't wait for tomorrow what he can do today. So that is like the lesson I get from him every day, is that he follows through and he writes stuff down. He needs to be a business coach on my team. Is what I want. But you know, what's so great about this is I get to be in his energy all the time. I can take breaks, of course, if it gets too much, because he's definitely moving centered where I'm more heart centered. But there's an excuse. And he has this energy about him, and he's very powerful. He's a 7-figure business owner. He is actually buying our dream property right now for us, and where I'm going to be able to create an event space and a retreat and do my business in a bigger way. But back to the follow through is like, you give him an opportunity, he goes for it. And I get to hang out with that and see that and be inspired by that and motivated by that. And now I finally, like, it took I've been motivated my whole life, but I mean, just like, you have to follow through to get anywhere. You can't wait too long to implement what you learn too. So when you're in a masterclass or in an event, you have to follow through on what they're teaching you right away, because practice does make perfect. And it does, like, create the opportunity and the signal to the universe that you're going for it. And then when you give that signal, more things come into the opportunity. So another example, so I was counting it up right before the show. I've been to 8 events since last Tuesday. So in 9 days, I've been to 8 events, and that's including my own networking event. And I had a 1-day mega success or speaker event with JT Fox. Then I was interviewed on the Awaken Your Impact on the Inspiration panel. And then I went to a speaker connection networking event. I got some events out of that I went to. So I was in a networking group, and then I went to events that were notified to me because I was in that group. So I ended up being in 8 events, and I might even been in 9 or 10 because of networking and actually, like, booking. Seeing an opportunity, putting it on my calendar. If it cost $10 or if it cost $20, I paid it, I put it on my calendar. Because I did that, I now have 8 connection calls and more coming. And I also received an opportunity. So it created some energy of follow through and opportunity and action. It started, like, building other action. In my email, I had an email come out of the blue from a woman I met at an event for the 40 over 40 that I was in last February, who I actually did an event with in May. She thought of me to come to be a vendor at a women's retreat event that's happening not this Sunday, but the Sunday at the end of the month. And I'm in, because there's going to be opportunities there for more things. I'm not waiting to decide too long anymore. So I really encourage you to take what I'm saying, like the actual, like, evidence and proof that I'm giving you of how quickly it can change when you take quick action. Because I was stuck. I was stuck in a unraveling, processing period over the summer. And I things weren't moving because that's where I wasn't, it wasn't moving inside of me. So then it wasn't moving in the outside of me. But now stuff is moving. I decided, you have to decide to get out of the processing process. You have to decide to stop unraveling what you've already unraveled. You've already healed this process. And look at it a different way. Because sometimes it's coming up to the surface again because you need to take action. It's what you don't want anymore, and there's an action opportunity to bring you into what you do want to do, and you need to shake it up. I think Rachel Jane is always saying, like, put the stake in the ground, like, be okay with shaking and going scared and taking opportunities that you think that you're not ready for, because the only way to be ready for them is to, like, risk it, to go scared. And I went scared. I've been going scared for, a long time. But now I don't even feel scared anymore. Now that I've practiced so much in that going scared feeling, now it's not scary. And it feels good. It feels good. It feels good. And when you can get into that momentum of, wow, I went somewhere and now something's happened. I'm getting an opportunity from it. Like when I went to, because I've been networking since the beginning of the year, and believe me, don't do what I did and say, oh, I have to figure out my message and I got to have it all right before I start networking. Start networking before you have anything figured out. Making connections is powerful. Your network is your net worth. And before you even know what you want to do, you need to be developing your relationships. And that's a powerful thing I've learned in the last week and a half is relationship is capital. Relationships create opportunities. Relationships build and expand you. Everything is relationships. Money is relationships. Okay, so when I went to this big event on last Thursday, because I had started networking in January, I met 4 people I already know that I didn't know were going to be there. And they came up to me to tell me that they were there. Like opportunities are everywhere. It's just, getting rid of the excuses so that you can see them. You can see them. Because when we blame and we make excuses, and this is important, when we make excuses and we blame, I'm not ready, these type of excuses. I'm not ready. I'm still processing. I'm still healing. I want to give myself a break, that kind of stuff. Those are all fine, but you can get into a habit of using them as an excuse to not move to the next level of your healing, the next level of your journey, and stay stuck in it. And how do you get out? How do you get out? You start practicing noticing. So the challenge and the practice that I want to offer you today is to notice in one day. Start this afternoon. How many times you make an excuse for not getting something done, for not following through, for not taking an opportunity. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. Don't even try to change it. And if you can, jot it down. Like get a ticker going on how many times you make an excuse. And I will do the same. And then post it in the chat. Tomorrow, how many times you counted this afternoon that you made an excuse. It's just helping you to notice that you're in a pattern of making excuses. I know in horse racing, there is always an excuse why you didn't win the race. I raced for the first time in 5 months last Friday. We finished third. He raced amazing. But I heard myself say, oh, because it was raining, we didn't win. And oh, this and that and that. The horse race, great. There's no excuses to be made. That's all there is. We didn't win. We finished third. Happy, still made money, still hit the board. Like 1, 2, or 3, how we say it in horse racing, is you hit the board, which means you get recognized on the board for first, second, or third, just like gold, silver, and bronze at the Olympics. Good. It's great. I'm happy. I don't need to make an excuse. And I get another opportunity to win tomorrow, you know? So take this practice seriously, because I have proven to myself the difference between making excuses and the energy that it has. It has an inaction energy. It's not a forward moving energy when you make an excuse, to the energy of, oh, opportunity, I'm deciding, I'm pressing the button, I'm registering, I'm getting in a group, and I'm getting connected with more people than I knew before. Who knows what that opportunity is? And then if I notice myself like, oh, I don't think I have time for that. Oh, I look for it. And if my calendar has space for it, I put it in. So just practice. I'm going to go say it one more time. Start doing a ticker starting this afternoon. How many excuses you make. And then maybe just do a 24-hour ticker. And if you're really ambitious, do it for 5 days and see how many times you've made an excuse, and maybe write down what your excuse was. Like what slang, what motto did you use? Because, you know, when I finished third last week, would I say, oh, well, the drive, you know, it was raining. You know, that was the excuse. No excuse. My horse can win in the rain. Just didn't win that day. So I want to tell you that going to events, being around people who are energized, who are moving forward, who are making decisions, are people who are powerful, and they are people you want to hang out with. I get to hang out with my coaches who are very motivating. I get to go to events and I get motivated and juiced up, and it really helps you to keep moving forward and make connections and to grow. So I want to tell you that next Wednesday, I am having a free interactive masterclass, Unlock Your Soul Power. 3 keys to stop hiding so you can realize your purpose. Come to this event, meet more people, be interactive, get energized and juiced up and motivated to do your purpose. Learn something and take what I teach in this event and practice it, because I give you experiential things to do that will boost your desire to really go for your purpose and do it. Be powerful at it. Create prosperity doing what you love, because it's so fulfilling to do what you love. And then when you make money from it, when you get exposure from it and visibility, and you connect with people, people will know that you're the expert in this field. Right now, I'm also growing Receptive Radio interviews, guest interviews. I have put a post in here. I've put a link to apply. Apply. It's an easy application. And I know that you have valuable things to share with this community, and you're going to get wider exposure. You're going to get wider exposure on my YouTube channel, and you're going to get wider exposure on my website and in this Facebook group, which will have our interview there for infinity. You know, as long as the internet is moving, you'll be there and you'll have a link to you. And it's a conversation, and it's all about you and how you can help people in this community achieve their purpose, do what they love. You don't have to be the same as me. You don't have to talk on the same talk about something else that will help every one of us in this community: coaches, healers, speakers, artists, soulpreneurs, entrepreneurs who really want to make an impact in their life and in everyone else's life and in the world. So come to the free masterclass next Wednesday. Unlock your soul power. Get out of hiding. Get out of processing. Get out of unraveling while you're taking action towards your dream, towards doing your purpose. I'll put a link in the chat. And then if you're interested on being on Receptive Radio, please fill out an application. I'd love to have you. And lots of you I know in this community, and we would have such a good time being interviewed. And I just want to point out, it's like I got asked to be on Rachel Jane's inspirational panel, and while I was there, I've already had a connection call from that event. I saw the chat blowing up. I got more leads into Receptive Radio. And it all just grew. And my purpose is to help you do your purpose. And that's what fulfills me. And I want you to feel fulfilled and happy every day when you wake up. So thank you for watching Receptive Radio, your tuning station. I go live every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'll see you next week.